Hey there everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Fast 5, and this one is a silly one. These 5 games are games that are silly and or strange, but actually turn out to be really cool games. Let me put that in context. Normally I like to go out and get silly named games, and when I describe these to certain people, they laugh at me and or they're not interested in playing. Like, there's a game called It's PRRRT, and it's all about passing the blame about farts. Now, that's not a game that's on the list, but I use that game because that's the kind of games that I know potty humor, but there are other games with strange names that have strange components but turn out to be really cool games, and I want to put a light on these games so you can see these games are actually something that you might want to go out and play. Now, with that caveat, I'm going to say in the Fast 5 I only have 1 minute to talk about these games, as you've seen in prior videos, and I also am going to do 2 honorable mentions. Now, these games are on the list because one of them I haven't played, but I watched it played at a convention, and this first honorable mention for the strange games but turn out to be good games list is Lifted. Now, this game you literally put on a hat, and you have a partner that puts on a hat, and it has a big crane on it. Now, I don't want to go too much into it, but as you can see, you're picking up these blocks that have holes in them, and you have a little hook, and you're working with your partner to pick up these blocks and do certain things with them. So that is Lifted. I can't wait to actually play it, but it's a strange game, and when people see you play these types of games, they're going to look over and say, what are those people playing? So the second honorable mention on the list I actually have a physical copy of, and this one is called Bugs in the Kitchen. Now, this is a kid's game by Ravensburger, and it comes with one of those nano bugs, and you're rolling the dice, and you're either trying to move these utensils so you don't get the bug, or you are trying to get the bug. And mine didn't come with a nano bug for some reason. Somebody took it out. There's like a hole in here. But those are the 2 honorable mentions for this list. Let's actually get to the list with number 5. Let's go. Alright, so number 5 comes on the list because it is kooky in the form of it actually advocates cheating. Now, this one is called Cheating Moth. It's just a card game. All it has in it is cards and a whole bunch of different kooky pictures. It's a game where one person is a guard bug and they aren't allowed to cheat, but everyone around the table is allowed to cheat as much as they want in any form or fashion, as long as the guard bug doesn't catch you. If he does, you become the guard bug and you have to watch out for cheaters. The goal of the game is to try to take your hand and get rid of it. You can't cheat your last card away, but the ways that you can cheat is you might try to play 2 cards at once, and if nobody catches it, there you go. Or you might slip a card down your sleeve when no one's looking, but you can only cheat 1 card away at a time. So when this game is over, you're going to look on the ground and see a lot of cards that have been cheated away. I've seen things where people have gone to the bathroom and cheated a card away. I've seen people actually, when they're the dealer, they deal themselves 1 short of a full hand, and nobody even is none the wiser unless the guard bug is really trying to watch. And my friend Trevor, you know him, he is my favorite guard bug. So that is Cheating Moth. Again, it's kind of has special abilities where you're slapping cards, playing extra cards, and making people do things, but you're going to be cheating the whole time. So that is number 5. Let's go on to number 4. Alright, so number 4 makes on the list because of the art and one of the silliest components I've seen in the game, and basically this is called If Wishes Were Fishes. Now, If Wishes Were Fishes have bait worms in them, basically, and this is the currency in the game, and I can't get people to take it seriously when I pull these components out, and I actually am drawn to this kind of stuff. Now, this is a game about market manipulation. You are a fisher and you're going out to fish, and you have these little fish meeple tokens, and you're either catching the fish and taking it to the market and selling it and getting as much money as you can, because that is the end game win, is the person with the most money, or you're taking the fish and it's going to grant you a wish and give you a certain ability that you can manipulate the game with, and certain fish do certain things, and you are going to be passing these little worm tokens in and out. It actually has a system where you're bidding on fish, and the currency is going to be placed on cards, so you're going to be getting cards and getting bait currency along the game for fishes that aren't the most desirable, but eventually you're going to want to get them because these also count for points at the end of the game. So that is If Wishes Were Fishes, the silly market game with bait currency. And now we're going to go on to number 3 and see what the next silly game is. Let's go. Alright, so number 3 on my list is an old school game, and it makes it on my list because of the art, and it has stretchy action figures in it. This one is called Rock Jocks. Now, this is a game that has art of one of the artists from the early Mad magazine games, and you can kind of really tell that this kind of Mad-esque art. And basically what you're doing, you have these stretchy guys that are hanging on a cliff, like cliffhanger, or so you're going to think of Sylvester Stallone, I would, if I were you, and you have these stretchy arms. Now, what you're doing is taking tokens, and you're either going to be playing these tokens on your opponent, and they're going to be placing animals in a basket that goes on the back here, and as he gets weighted, he's going to get further and further from the bottom, and his grip is going to start to give. And the person who loses the grip is the loser, and this is only a 2-player game, yes, and it's older, so I had to get this at a Goodwill, and the arms are kind of fuzzy, but it is a super silly game. It has a 3D board, as you can see in the pictures here, and it has all these different kind of creatures all the way to the heavy Yeti here, and this is just a spectacle to be had, and it's actually a pretty fun game as well. So that is Rock Jocks, a real cliffhanger of a game, it says. Now let's go on to number 2 and see what game is next. So, number 2 on the list is a game that has really strange art, and that's why it makes my list, and it's a game of Dixit. Now, all the strangeness is in the art of the cards, and heart of the cards, and it has arbitrary bunny tokens as well. Why do you need them? They're your player marker, you're moving around as you score, but these cards are super strange. What you're doing is trying to give clues on the pictures that are out it's like a party game to all the people at the table, and you want a few of the people to get it, but not all of them, because that's the way you score. If one person gets the card and they pick it out on the table because the clue that you gave was a good one for, like, you know, that couple, then you get more points as if you were to get 3 people to guess that same card. So you want to give good clues, but not great clues. There's going to be a lot of like references in this game to different shows, maybe other games, but Dixit is very vast, has a whole bunch of expansions, and it actually ties in other games as well. You can kind of take this game and make a compound super game. So that is the game of Dixit. It makes these strange lists, but good games because of the kooky art, but I like it. I like the art. So let's go to number 1 and see what game wins outright. Let's go. And on to the number 1 game, what you're here to see, and I have my little friend here. He comes in the game of Coconuts. Yes, it's called Coconuts. Every time I pitch this game, people snicker unless they know what the game is, because this game is so charming, super silly looking. It's a dexterity game where you're taking these rubber coconuts and trying to flick them out of the monkey's hands into the cups, and we've had this on the list before, and if you get a pyramid of 6 cups, you win. Now, it's super strange. If I have this at a con, people are looking and staring at us and are gathering around the table and wanting to take a turn shooting one of these coconuts, and if I'm playing it here, it's because people have requested it. It's always requested as a end of the night filler and or a beginning of the day game filler. So, I mean, why not put it on my list? It's super silly, super strange, super attractive, and people are addicted to this game and they always want to play it. So it had to make my number 1 on the top strange games, but very good games. Well, this is a very good game, and the other ones are good as well, but this one is my number 1, and it's a game of coconuts. This is a Korean game, as you can see, and Mayday produces it. A lot of good dexterity games come out of Korea, like the Click Clack Lumberjack, which is super strange, and a good game, but it didn't make my list. So let's quit while we're ahead. You know what the number one is, so go out, and I would recommend picking this game up. It's in circulation and pretty easy to get, and you can take both of these boxes and make a party of 6 and even go up to 8 or even more if you get more base sets and or expansions. So thank you so much for tuning into this Fast 5 list of strange games but good games. I've been Dave, and until the next time that I see you, have a great rest of your day and a great time with all that you play. Please like and subscribe at the end of the video here. You heard it here on the Game Vine. Bye guys.